Release dates, delays, and acquisitions. Let's talk. What up, viewers? What up? What up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, April 14th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. Starting off with a game that's just around the corner, we got to see the final release trailer for Tears of the Kingdom, the sequel to Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It showed off some pretty cool stuff. I think the internet collectively lost their shit over seeing Ganondorf, which I too am excited for seeing Ganondorf, but they also called him a thirst trap. I think there was a image of him not wearing a shirt, and people kind of freaked out about that. But very exciting stuff. I am excited to play Tears of the Kingdom next month. They also showed one thing that caught my eye was just like the battle mech that you could apparently build. So the robust like crafting system is definitely exactly what I said, robust. So yeah, and they had just like a brief image of like Link on top of like a really big, I don't know, pillar and like charging it at a bokoblin kind of thing. Anyway, getting too into the weeds here, but it was really interesting to see what you could do, and I am very excited to see what I can do in Tears of the Kingdom coming next month. If you've ever wanted to play Call of Duty but with finger guns and lots of flashy lights, that is what EA is selling in Immortals of Aveum. This is a game we haven't heard much about since I think it was announced last year at Summer Games Fest. But now we get to see a little bit of what gameplay will look like, a little bit more of like the aesthetic. It gave you a little bit of what the story is, which seemed like generic bad guy in spiky armor, and your hotshot good guy who looks a little bit too much like Dave Franco. And you're going to be shooting finger guns and glowy bobs at the enemies. So if you want more magic in your Call of Duty, I think you might be able to get it. Also, there was a release date attached to it of July 20th. So for anybody looking for some games after E3 timeframe this year, looking for a AAA game, you can look for Immortals of Aveum. Pretty hard to say, so try saying that a couple times fast. This week, PlayStation graced us with a state of play, all focused exclusively on Final Fantasy 16. We got to see about 20 minutes of gameplay with some, over-the-top narration talking us through what we were looking at. The one part that caught my eye was a lot of the boss fights. There's going to be a lot of like different big enemies that you're going to fight. Also, some of the little stuff like, your equipment and interacting with the fantasy setting, I think is what's really going to sell me on it. You got knights and armors and you're fighting Phoenix and giant snake things. So that whole fantasy feel of it is really going to be what draws me into potentially my second Final Fantasy game, as I have not played too much Final Fantasy in my life. The video games industry is built on rumors and speculation, and a big one dropped today that I was not expecting when going through the final dredges of the news for the week. But Sega is potentially looking at acquiring Rovio, the developer behind Angry Birds, for a cool $1 billion. Yes, that's billion with a B. $1 billion for Angry Birds, which this late in the game, I guess they're worth that much. I bet it's probably just raking in money as it goes by, but I'm very curious the relevancy of Angry Birds. But yeah, it's could be big. Sega, I thought, was kind of down and out, and so if they've got $1 billion to scratch out, I'd be curious to see if they actually go through with buying Rovio for $1 billion and how that will kind of impact them, what they could do to revitalize the IP. Very curious to see there. As with every time I release my quarterly competitive slate document, immediately after I hit send on that, I get a slew of announcements for games that have been delayed, which is what I alluded to in my cold open. The Suicide Squad game is probably the biggest of them that got delayed out of this year. I was surprised. It was originally intended to come out in May of this year, May 26th. I thought it would be delayed for maybe 6 months towards like a holiday release. But now it's going to be Q1 of next year. It'll be releasing February 2nd. of 2024. Also, the Bunker, Amnesia, the Bunker was delayed as well, and I think there's another one in there that I'm not quite remembering. But yep, anytime I release the slate, a bunch of games get announced and a bunch of games get delayed. So maybe it's me. Maybe I have some control over when games get announced or released or delayed. So uh, be sure to tune in for that. Moving right along, Miyazaki, the game director of From Software, from Software, the publishers and developers of the developers of Elden Ring and the Dark Souls series and all of that, has become one of Time's top 100 most influential people. This is the second time a video game person, someone from the games industry, has been on the list. That first person was Miyamoto, obviously of Nintendo and Mario fame. But now we've got Miyazaki on the list, which I guess if you're going to sell 10 million units of a Dark Souls game, open world Dark Souls game, then I guess that is pretty influential. So definitely excited to see that. Surprised that Kojima was not already on the list, but I bet he'll get his sometime soon. Anyway, moving right along, Minecraft is getting its own fashion line, I guess. I think we've seen this before, but there's a line of fashionable items that are quite expensive, that kind of have like an 8-bit look to them. I bet if you only look at it from like one direction, you can see kind of like an 8-bit, the hard lines and blocky lines, which will set you back $4,000 if you wanted to. If you got $4,000 lying around and you're a giant Minecraft fan, I don't know if you're a crypto bro or what, but yeah, you can get clothes that look like they were 16-bit or made in Minecraft. So good luck with that. And I definitely don't understand the Minecraft angle of this all. But I don't know. Is it an official Minecraft? Like, is it officially Minecraft merch, or is it just Minecraft-like in that it is in that any 16-bit game looks very Minecraft-esque? Anyway, I digress. Nintendo is, with a big game just around the corner, is using that popularity, that increase in popularity for the Zelda series, to do a crossover with another one of its big IPs, Splatoon. There will be a new 3-player game mode where you can play on a giant Triforce. And they've actually got some pretty cool merch to go along with it. I was browsing that earlier today, looking at some of the cool t-shirts where, you got Zelda or Link on a t-shirt with some Splatoon splats all over it. So I love my crossovers, and especially on t-shirts that I wear. So I might actually be picking up some of that merch soon. We got a surprise announce for a game this week. It's Warhammer 40K making a Doom clone, which was quite interesting, and the gameplay kind of really got me thinking. It was pretty interesting to see a space marine running around killing demons with a plasma gun. Wait, is Doom a copy of Warhammer 40K? Interesting. But yeah, it looked like a really cool, I guess you would call it a boomer shooter. I still don't know if boomer shooter refers to the people who play them or some other kind of explosive way of playing shooter. That is a game I'm very interested in. So Warhammer 40K Bolt Gun comes out next month on May 23rd. So looking forward to picking that up. And last but not least, talking about games that actually launched this week, there was a game called Fable Dumb, which launched into early access. It is a fairy tale city builder where you're playing through kind of a storybook fairy tale, and you get to build up your little hovel and go out and do adventures, and build up. As someone who is constantly looking for the next great city builder, I am very excited to check that out. Hopefully it has Steam Deck support, because I usually play most of my PC games now on my Steam Deck. But that's it for this week. If there's anything I forgot, feel free to leave a comment here or on my Discord. Always happy to talk about video game news there or anywhere else. But as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this content. If you do, please follow, like, and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch so you can see more great content like this. I'll have links down below in the description. Thanks again. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend. And I hope you have a super day. Bye.